What is up, people from the DC Cinematic Universe? Welcome to my somewhat late video on the World Needs Hero trailer for upcoming DCEU movies. I believe coming out this year. You know, we've got a lot of cool footage in this trailer. I've briefly seen it, but I've been swamped with other videos, so I finally have got around to kind of watching this with you. I want to give my honest thoughts about some of the things we see in this trailer, since we do get a new look at the Flash suit. I mean, I assume all of you have already seen this, but yeah, we get new peeks at the Flash suit, Black Adam stuff, and whatnot. So I'm going to watch this first with you guys, and then kind of go throughout it, because I've got some mixed feelings on what we see. But maybe you disagree with me, maybe you agree with me, maybe you're somewhere in between. But I'm going to shut up now. Let's give this a watch. Play. My boy Batman. My boy.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me.
Black Adam looks really good. Like, visually at least.
Any timeline, any universe.
Keaton! Oh, chills.
Save this one.
I'm iffy about this
Greater
one.
than a king.
I've literally got goosebumps.
Hero.
Oh, I love the quick shot of... Oh, okay. Cyclone. Oh, okay. Mixed feelings again.
If we don't stand up, no one will.
Come with us.
Oh.
Glorious world out there.
Oh. Oh.
Waiting for you.
Are you in?
So, lots to talk about here at the same time, and on a visual level, let's start right at the beginning. Obviously, it starts off with my boy Batman. I cover Batman enough on this channel. You know how I feel about that. But obviously, this is meant to really promote the upcoming movies that DC have got. They've somewhat loaded the gun, and they're ready to, like, start firing, you know, periodically as the release dates, you know, get closer and closer to us seeing it on our very own local silver screen. We've got a few things to play with here. Obviously, none of us have seen Black Adam, but what we can see visually from this movie, a lot of people are excited. Dwayne Johnson really seems to be looking good in the role, whether that's what we got from DC Fandom. That was a treat in of itself. But we've also had some behind-the-scenes stuff from DC Fandom, which is making me question quite a bit of what we saw in this trailer. We see Black Adam here talking to Hawkman, and I really do like the vibes of what we're getting from Pierce Brosnan's Doctor Fate here, because, you know, it's like there's a whole world out there or whatever, and you see Black Adam kind of like thinking or introspectively wondering about what he's gonna do there. And you can clearly tell, I mean, maybe this is quite the assumption of me to say, but Black Adam's gotta have quite a goal in mind when he comes about, but he's gotta be grounded by the Justice Society of America to not necessarily go out there and be somewhat anti-hero-esque straight up. He's going to have a bit more depth to him, a bit more of an emotional core that won't make him seem as black and white villainous, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying he's a villain, but you get what I'm trying to say. I like how we will have these other heroes in the movie bring out this other part to the character, which isn't always the way he's somewhat portrayed in various other, you know, iterations of the character. I guess a way for me to put it is just that they'll bring him down to earth a little bit more, quite literally. Like, I feel like he's going to be a bit more grounded by these other heroes who instilled that kind of, I wouldn't say they instilled that philosophy out of Black Adam, because he is his own man at the end of the day, but it's going to be interesting to see what influence they have on him, and I really do feel like we get a little bit of the vibe of that in this trailer. Hearing Keaton's voice saying you can go to any timeline, any universe, why fight to save this one? And I feel like maybe we have heard that before. Am I going crazy? Either way, it is great. You know, Keaton is a big influence on a lot of Batman fans. That's needless to say. Whether you agree or not, maybe whether you're born quite a bit after those movies, you still appreciate them, and you still prefer the more modern take, whatever, right? It's still something, if you're a really big Bat fan, that just me replaying it in between cuts in this video right now, it just gives me goosebumps again. I wonder what Barry says to that. And maybe it's just knowing Barry Allen, he feels like he needs to fight for this universe, like the one that he's gone into, that after Flashpoint will somewhat merge with the current DCEU we're dealing with right now. For example, Ben Affleck is going bye-bye, and assuming so is his Gotham City at the same time, because when Keaton comes in, I'm guessing Gotham's gonna come in, like his Burton-y-esque Gotham, but perhaps modernized, you could say. And I always given a comparison to something like, you can look at the old Blade Runner movies, but when that was brought into modern day with Blade Runner 2049, it was somewhat modernized. So I expect something like that, and along with that will come Batgirl. It's going to be a big kind of universe conjoining thing when the Flashpoint movie is over and we've got the new slated DC cinematic universe moving forwards. But yeah, this is where like some mixed opinions come in, as I teased when we were watching the trailer together. By the way, I do think whoever he's looking at, I'm wondering, I could be wrong, but there's a lot of theories out there. The person he's looking at in this shot is maybe Supergirl strung up. I don't know by who, but I feel like she's being kept in this containment unit and being depowered. I'm not saying Keaton's doing that, by the way. I know some people are saying, oh, there might be a Batman versus Superman, like kind of retcon with the Flashpoint thing where he faced Supergirl. I don't know. Maybe they might, you know, arguably make Keaton to be that brutal, but I doubt it. In the actual Flash movie teaser trailer that we got at DC Fandom, or first look if you will, we did see Sasha Calle's Supergirl kind of being laid down, you know, recovering like with a blanket over her in Wayne Manor. So again, it seems a bit off to me to imagine that Keaton was the one who would have contained her. Maybe it could have been the Luthor of this universe and Barry saved her. Maybe Keaton is the very one who sends Barry on the mission to retrieve this Kryptonian because they could use her help in the effort to save this universe, as Keaton puts it. So let's talk about some of the suits. We'll get on to the Aquaman one and things like that, because I really, look, I'm not trying to be a nitpicky kind of person. This is really, really subjective at the end of the day. When I first saw this shot at DC Fandom, the one from behind where we see Barry, this could be really towards the beginning of the movie where he's already got the suit gifted to him by his friend Bruce Wayne. I can practically guarantee that's going to be the Ben Affleck version. He's going to his childhood home there, and this could be the night of when his mother dies. I am dying, by the way, on a little side note, to get some clarification of if that's being caused by the Reverse Flash and stuff like that, if we're going to see that, if there's going to be a yellow blur, but that's going to be nothing to Barry at the time, but those who know will know in the audience kind of thing. I wonder if we're going to get anything like that. But anyway, back onto this point, I loved the look of this suit from behind. Don't get me wrong, there were some slight, not so red flags, but orange flags, you know, from green to orange, about the kind of texture, the shininess. I'm not a big fan of shininess on suits. I really like the Man of Steel suit, but as they kind of went on throughout the movies, there are a lot of things that I like about the BVS suit and even the Justice League suit, but they added a lot more shine. If there's any kind of light on the suit, it's like shine. And that's, you know, again here, and the texture is a bit, My favorite shot of it, though, what I will say, is the ending shot of this trailer when the cowl is down, for example, and you get a little bit more of a toned down look at the Flash suit, and I think that's where it looks its best. But here, my first reaction was, man, look at the lightning, the kind of organic light weaved throughout the suit, as what we've had explained to us, I think way back at DC Fandom when they were talking about this suit. But then if we skip a little bit later into this, we get a close-up of Ezra Miller's Barry Allen. And, you know, I honestly do have mixed feelings on this suit. So for all intents and purposes, I love the ambition here. They've really tried to create quite a comic-accurate Flash suit. It's not obviously comic-accurate to every single iteration, but specifically with the lightning weaving throughout it on, I guess you would say, helmet there, because I don't believe this is a cowl. I'm not a big fan of the difference of material that he has on the helmet to that of the suit. You can clearly tell this is more of like a bike helmet-esque look, you know, for lack of a better word, honestly. Don't take massive offense to that, diehard Flash fans, but you know what I mean. To that of like the texture on the suit here. I'm fine with the color. I'm a big fan of red myself, so even the darker reds I'm a fan of. I like the idea of lenses. It makes sense. If you're a speedster, your eyes, with the amount of wind coming in your freaking eyes, you would be like, you'd be so dry-eyed. It would be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm a fan of that, and it kind of reminds me of what they did on the CW series, albeit it's done a lot more in a tasteful way here. I just feel like on the CW series it was a bit more like newbie with the big eye gaps they had. Here it's a bit more, I guess, you know, angled, and it makes it look a little bit more sharp compared to that of what the CW did. Personally, to my tastes, and this will be one of my criticisms of the Aquaman suit, DC seems to be bringing back like the kind of rock-hard 90s-esque ab armor, and I do want to just say in advance, it's not as far gone as the 90s ab armor look, you know, like, for example, you know what I mean with the old bat suits and stuff. And I get what they're trying to do here with the Flash, because it is reminiscent of Barry Allen from the comics. Like, he can be quite a hench guy with the abs on the suit, but I don't know if it actually adds to it for me. I do need to see it fully in motion. I do like a lot of aspects to this suit that just can't be denied. I can't deny it, but I do feel like it has quite a bit to work on. I don't think the cowl is form-fitting enough in various shots. It is actually quite astonishing to me on the nose bit there. In that shot, by the way, when he's looking down, it's because he's facing down that it looks like it's really nicely fit on his nose. But in other shots, you could almost fit one of my fingers underneath the nose. Maybe that is a bit hyperbolic to say, but there is a gap there. And that kind of bothers me. I don't know why and how they did that. The ears are in concept really good looking from the back there, because it is that kind of long lightning bolt. I am really a big fan of that, but I feel like the way they kind of enclose initially around the helmet with the curve and then go out, I think gives it a bit of a weird look initially. But overall, I will say that I am more of a fan of this suit than not. I know they probably already explored this option and maybe it couldn't work, but if the material could match a little bit more of the suit itself rather than being this kind of shiny bike helmet kind of layered, you know what I mean? If you went to frickin', and this isn't to call it a Walmart suit, I'm just saying, I can't think of a better example. If you got like a Walmart bicycle helmet with that kind of shiny texture over it, it kind of reminds me of that. But then onto the Aquaman suit, before we get onto Dr. Fate helmet, which is so, you know, that Dr. Fate helmet was driving me insane. I think Dr. Fate looks amazing, by the way, in advance, but you know what I'm on about, the eye thing. For any of you who are trying to find the eyes, I don't know what's going on there. We'll talk about that. So the Aquaman suit was the next thing up in the trailer. And look, I think Jason Momoa is an insanely awesome looking Aquaman. I really, really am a big fan of the suit that we're now looking at on screen. The way they adapted that from the comics and modernized it to live action, oh my god, like, it's just, I feel like I'm looking at gold, like, as if, like, there should be, like, yellow gold, like, reflecting off my eyeballs right now. It's so awesome to behold. But the one they're coming up with in Aquaman 2, and I'm sure this is meant to be more of, like, a mission-y kind of suit, a stealthy kind of suit kind of thing for whatever that part of the movie is. But, like, I have to say it, like, it's unnecessary. It's really unnecessary to add that thick-ass ab armor. I've got a few friends that I've spoken to about this, other content creators as well, and they're in complete agreement with me. It really just does feel like DC at the minute in the movie world are really liking their, I don't know how to say this, like, extruded out kind of muscles. Other than that, like, I do like the tone of the suit, the color, like the belt. I even like the little armor bits on the side of his thighs there. But again, I don't know. Overall, I don't really massively dig it. My thoughts on Aquaman 2 are a bit mixed at the minute. Don't know, I'm just not feeling like a massive oomph there. So let me know what you feel about that. We get some more awesome shots of Black Adam. They really wanted to capitalize on the Black Adam footage here. We see him sending out one of his blasts. It looks like he's trying to break into or break out of this room here, because as you can see, each kind of wall here is decorated with a bunch of like these statue-esque bodies, and he's sending one of his bolts out and it obliterates the wall. We get a bit of Cyclone and Atom Smasher in their everyday attire, I suppose you could say. Can't wait to see the Justice Society of America in the DCEU. Don't get me wrong, I am dying to imagine what's going on with other members like Aquaman, Stargirl. Is there going to be any references to them in this movie? Have they ever even been recruited? Have they been recruited before, but they died? Like, this is what I mean. The Justice Society of America usually have been going on for quite some time, so I don't think this is the first time the JSA is formed. I think, I can't remember where I've heard this before, I think they might have detailed that there has been a history to the JSA. You know, Dr. Fate could be like a, you know, his Piers Brosnan casting could have been in the JSA for quite some time, so I think we are going to get some cool history lessons, or at least little teasers to the JSA history within the DC cinematic universe. I mean, they could even be in the JSA HQ in this shot, because in the background there, you can see that there's this little kind of containment unit, and there's something within there. I'm not going to say that's a Dr. Fate helmet. It could be any other hero. Again, maybe a hero of old, maybe a fallen JSA member. This is what I'm trying to say. It could be quite a decorated JSA past, but mainly with Hawkman and Dr. Fate potentially being the two of the oldest members still going from their original time. And speaking of Hawkman, that's where we hear Piers Brosnan's Dr. Fate saying, come with us, there's, you know, there's a whole world out there or whatever. We get the reveal of Hawkman just stretching out his wings, and he looks quintessential Hawkman. I couldn't really put it any other way. He looks absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the rubble he's in is probably modern day Kahndaq, which is going to be, you know, quite a big thing in this movie. Obviously, Black Adam waking up being like, hey, wait, what's happened to my OG home? Wait, what's going on here? It's a complete mess. That will all come into the plot. DC absolutely nailed the suit here. I can't wait to see what this is like in action. But what is going on with this Doctor Fate helmet? It's so confusing to me. Only because, like, he looks great, by the way. I love the way they did the golden gloves there, because sometimes they don't always do it that way to pull it off from the comics, like a literal, you know, drawn glove. But here they did it in such a cool gilded way. But some people are saying, like, is this like an unfinished CGI shot? Because am I going insane? I cannot see the eye on it. I know people say on the left, on his left, there seems to be something there. But other than that, like, for all intents and purposes, you cannot see eyes. I'm telling you, in the behind the scenes footage, the kind of reel that they showed at DC Fandom last year of the extra stuff, you can see that the helmet literally has eye slots. So I don't know. Like, I don't want to say that this is a shot they included in there where it just is a bit more of a blank helmet, or like, for all people are saying at the same time, it's a deliberate blank helmet and he's meant to be seeing without seeing under there. That's why they didn't add eyes to it. But I'm telling you, there are eyes on this helmet, and I don't know why you can't properly see them in this shot. It's not a huge detail. I was just staring at this when it first came out a few days ago, and I was like, I don't understand. Why can't I properly see it? I like this shot of Cyclone all dressed up there, and I believe that this could be like a control room of a ship that they actually fly around on. Think kind of X-Men style, if you know what I mean. Atom Smasher looks absolutely, well, what more can I say than what I said about Hawkman? Quintessential. He looks great. Absolutely great. But I think one of my most hyped things, you know, and I'm going back to Black Adam again, 'cause they're clearly capitalizing upon that movie in this trailer, is Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. He just looks so charismatic in that role, and it looks like such a good casting. So let me know what your favorite takeaway from this is. Is it Black Adam? Is it the new look at the Flash suit? Do you agree or disagree with me about the somewhat approach to what they're doing with some armors and suits, if you will? Not that I dislike all of it or anything. It's just, you know, I have like my little picks here and there that I'm not so sure about. Maybe you have your own. Do you have any theories from any of this footage that we see in the trailer as well? But I just wanted to give my take on this because, you know, I didn't give it a couple days ago because I was swamped with other videos. But if you got this far, I'd really appreciate a like. It really does help me out. Basically, when you like a video or comment, it helps push this video out there to other viewers in the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm just loves that. So if you do your bit there to help me out, I really appreciate that. It helps so much. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with more coverage just like this. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you people of the DC Cinematic Universe in the next video. Goodbye.